Well, hello, folks, and welcome to the Dieter Melhorn Fishing Podcast. I hope you're having a good day, whatever day it is that you happen to be listening to the show. I've got a quick follow-up on the disqualification, cheating, lie detector test failure scandal that went on at the recent bass tournament. This is really one of many incidents that has plagued the bass fishing world over really the past couple of years. There's been a lot of different incidents that have went on with different people, sometimes the same people, with infractions of the laws of bass fishing, little rules and stuff that people have been pushing, skirting, and this was the latest one. JT Thompkins, a young angler from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, didn't realize that until afterwards, failed a lie detector test, some type of polygraph truth test that was given to him about just a couple of days into the tournament. From what I'm understanding now, some information was presented to Bass, and they decided to give him a polygraph test, with which he failed. The big development is he's made a statement. He made a statement on Facebook about it, on his fishing page, JT Thompkins Fishing on Facebook, and I'm going to roll it in its entirety. I have reached out to him and offered him a chance to come on the podcast, and I've reached out to Bass, the organization, to come onto the podcast, and I open up the platform to any of these folks, always do when something like this happens, and so far have not heard back from him, but he made this video rebuttal, and I'm going to roll it in all fairness to him to let him get his side of the story out there, and let him say what he wants to say.
Alright guys, as y'all guys have seen, Bass has made a decision to disqualify me from the most recent tournament at St. Lawrence River for seemingly to have failed a polygraph that was presented to me. And as we all know, these polygraphs aren't exactly 100% accurate, and I am fully confident that I didn't do anything wrong or break any rules for this tournament. I don't know if it was the pressure of the Rookie of the Year race, Angler of the Year race, and just being the last tournament of the year, and also being a body water I spent a lot of time on and not doing, as well as I wanted to. And I think all that may have presented a false positive, and the questions that they did flag me for were getting waypoints or exact locations to the body of water that I was on that are publicly available, and also viewing social media in order to gain advantage over the rest of the field for that body of water during the tournament. I did neither of those things. I have been very careful with everything, with conversations with anybody I've had, to not talk about this body of water. I have worked with my dad for the last 22 years. We've shared everything, as a father and son do, especially one that has a father that has been so into the fishing game for so long. But as an elite, I've had to sacrifice that. And I haven't been able to talk about what we've wanted to talk about for years. And also with the social media thing, I've done the same thing everybody else does, is go on there and watch your fellow competitors, their fish catches. And I was also on Fox on day one. I watched some of my fish catches. And, of course, I guess that was one of the things they said I failed. And I don't think I did. I don't think I did it to gain a competitive advantage. On day two, I made a 102-mile run to an area where there was, as far as I know, no, videos posted in that area. It was a complete decision off of, I feel like that was the best way for me to catch a bag to make a comeback. And, that is kind of where we're at right now. There has still been no proof or evidence provided to say that I've done something wrong. And the little bit of evidence that they did have, it came out not to be true. The reason why I was protested. And so that's the thing right now. There's just no evidence, and in a court of law, a polygraph doesn't hold any authority to anything, and I think in this case it doesn't either. So we're gonna go on and see what happens over the next few days, and have some conversations, hope that the right decisions are made. We're gonna have, and hope that Bass makes the right decision going on in the future. And I appreciate all the support from everybody who's reached out and texted me and supported me, because everyone that knows me knows that I have no intentions to cheat. There's a reason I'm on the water as much as I am. It's so that I don't have to. There's no reason for me to ask questions about a place that I feel confident that I know everything I need to know about to be able to do well enough in these tournaments. So I appreciate all the support. This is the update I wanted to give y'all, and thank you guys for watching.
There you go, guys. That's his retort to what happened and what transpired. I think this came out the next day. I think he took the polygraph test and was disqualified on a Friday. I think it was Saturday that this video came out. I have not had a chance to get anything together since then. Plus, I've had some other videos that were going up. And then Sunday was the last day of the tournament. They decided a winner, and guess what? More polygraph tests were given. I got word that there were going to be some more, and some other people were getting singled out. Apparently some people who have been singled out before. So I say all this to say there's some interesting stuff going on in the bass fishing world that I know a bunch of y'all are not into bass fishing or tournament fishing or anything, but if nothing else, it's turning into good fishing entertainment. It's interesting to see what's unfolded. Apparently there was a screaming match that took place over somebody that was on somebody else's spot going into the final day, and then this drama with the lie detector tests that were given, and these were not given to winners. These were given to some other people down in the field, just like it was with JT Thompkins on Friday. So there's some interesting drama, some interesting things going on. There's an interesting dynamic in the bass world. And part of the reason I like talking about this one, it is fishing related, even though it's not fishing I'm involved in. But I can see some of this rolling over into what I call our world, the catfish community, which is a lot of my viewers, and some of the people who are into crappie fishing, maybe fishing for walleye, striped bass, that kind of thing. Some of the things that happen and transpire here could also happen and happen in some of the tournaments we get into. What's my opinion on what happened? I don't know. I'm going to be quite honest with you. There's been enough information given up that you know a little something, but there's a bunch of important questions that I'd love to ask. That's why I'd love to get JT on the show and talk to him about it to clear up some things. I can see where he may be getting, I ain't going to say railroaded, but he could be in a position, it could be that he's just the scapegoat for some other things that are going on. And the thing is with lie detectors, the way they're worded, the questions that are asked, how they're presented, it can take things in a couple of different directions. And I'd be curious to know what those questions were that were asked. I don't think Bass will ever tell us that. What you're going to get from JT is what he remembers, and the wording may not be exact, and all that stuff plays a part. I don't know what's going on in the bass fishing world. There's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of insider info. I think there's a lot of dislike for the younger anglers that are doing good. And, there's a lot of people pointing fingers at these younger anglers saying that they've got to be cheating because they're doing so good. There's other ones that are pointing fingers at them saying they're doing so good because they're using forward-facing sonar and they're really good at that. To that I sit here and go, well, maybe the older anglers who don't like the younger anglers should get better at using forward-facing sonar so they can compete. I mean, the bottom line is it's a level playing field in the sense that everybody has access to the same technology. So it's level in that aspect. Is it shifting and changing the game? Yes, it is. Forward-facing sonar has changed the game in fishing, period. Nobody can argue that. Do the younger people have an advantage? I don't know. I think, if anything, they may have an advantage, not that they're not set in their ways. It may be the only way they've learned to fish so far. And that's what they've learned. That's what they grew up on. Do they have any better ability from playing video games? I don't know. I think a good fisherman, an older fisherman that will put the time into it and get over the fact that a lot of what they've spent their career mastering is kind of being thrown out the door and replaced with something that's technology driven. And if they'd get on board with it, I think they could do just as good, if not better. And I think that's going to be the next evolution in all of this. But back to whether Tomkins did anything wrong, I really don't know. I mean, we've got the lie detector test that, Bass is behind, but I don't know. Some of the stuff that was in the last video that I'd seen in another video may turn out to be unsubstantiated. So I don't know. There's so many rumors and innuendo and everything else, and you know, stuff that's being said. I don't know what's true in this situation. I feel for him because I think he's having to do damage control. And it sucks, especially to be that young, to be doing that good and then have something like this kind of get in the way. And again, you don't know if it's true, you don't know if it's not. So we're gonna wait and see. So I just want to give y'all a chance to see his his explanation of what happened, and stay tuned. There'll probably be more to this. So until then, we'll catch you out on the water.